Hello lords and ladies, welcome back to Cartoon Hangout for another Be Cool Scooby-Doo review. Because Cartoon Network just hates me. I mean seriously, there's 3 more episodes to review this week on top of my Powerpuff Girls flashback review. But enough of me complaining, let's get to today's episode, all paws on deck. Today's episode had the gang boarding the SS Casey, which belonged to Fred's cousin Scott. It doesn't take them long to find out that the route the ship takes is infested with sea monsters, much to Velma's dismay, who we now learn is afraid of water. All in all, a much more understandable fear than width. Looking at you, Fred.
Right. This coming from the guy who's afraid of widths.
It's hardly the same. The human body is 60% water. We're practically made of it. But how wide are we, huh? Not very.
The monster in this episode appears to be at least somewhat reminiscent of the Beast of Bottomless Lake, or Fish Fiend. Whether or not it's meant to be a reimagining of one of those is unclear. It could just be a generic sea monster. Or I could also just be getting too distracted by the concept. Another thing we learned this episode is that Daphne has a beef with dolphins. Yep, you heard and read that right. Daphne has a beef with dolphins. By the end of the episode, we discover it's because she owed them $15. What would they even need with money? As I pointed out in yesterday's video, this version of Daphne seems to be very eccentric. I don't have a problem with that. In fact, I'm loving it. Speaking of Daphne, I wonder if we'll ever see any romantic moments with her and Fred. Mr. Incorporated wasn't the first time this idea was approached. I think I specifically remember them touching on their feelings for each other in the early to mid-2000s Scooby-Doo movies, such as Cyber Chase or Zombie Island. With Daphne's feud with dolphins resolved, the dolphins end up lending the gang a hand when they are attacked by one of the sea creatures, because there turns out to be 2. This time the mystery of who the monsters were was pretty easy, at least in hindsight. The diving instructors Thorn and Dahlia were using the ship's exclusive route to steal the treasure from the ocean floor. With the shoddy help of Velma and her claw, the villains were captured and the gang could return to their cruise. I'll admit, I was a little bit disappointed this episode didn't feature a classic monster like the previous 2. I don't have a thing against new monsters, although generic sea monsters isn't exactly groundbreaking, but I like the idea of the classic monsters being reimagined. Still, this was far from a terrible episode, and besides Velma's fear of water wearing a bit thin by episode's end, it still featured plenty of standout moments, such as Scott's devolution from a salty sea dog,
Feeling like a great burden has been lifted off my shoulders.
or Scooby and Shaggy facing a great challenge from the ship's cooks.
Bring it in, boys.
Let's do this.
What?
Another thing worth pointing out that I meant to mention before was the return of chase music featuring actual lyrics. In episode 1 and 2, the chase music was just instrumental, and while that's fine and all, Scooby-Doo chase music it's not the same without the lyrics. Maybe in the future I'll compile my top 10 chase music scenes from Scooby-Doo, but I don't think now's the time. That's my review. Let me know what you thought of this episode and this review in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for more Cartoon Hangout and more Be Cool Scooby-Doo.